Hello, and welcome to this virtual event. We would like to ask everyone to please keep your cameras and microphones off during the program. To have a better theater experience, we encourage you all to disable participants without video. To do so, please open your Zoom preferences and click on the word Video. You should then be able to scroll down and check the box that says Hide Non-Video Participants. If you would like to send questions during the program, you can do so via the chat window. At the bottom of your screen if you are on a computer, or possibly the top right if you are on a different device, you should be able to see an option for chat. If you click that, it will open the chat window where you can type your questions so that they may be read aloud and answered. To verbally ask a question, you will need to raise your hand using the participant window, which can be found near your option for chat. To raise your hand, please click the blue hand button at the bottom of the participant window. This will let us know that you are interested in contributing to the conversation, and we will call on you accordingly. Thank you, and enjoy the event.
Hello and welcome to Voices. Welcome to International Theater Festival here in Jersey City. Our website is www.jctcenter.org. You're welcome to purchase tickets to events, to theater events from around the world. Festival will run till Sunday. Again, www.jctcenter.org. And now I would like to introduce Stephanie Chaiken, NJCU's Director for Performing Arts, Center for Performing Arts. We have a long and productive, very fruitful partnership with her and with university and with Art Center, and Jersey City Theater Center is very grateful for this relationship, and relationship like this allows us to bring interesting programs to university and to our audience from around the world. So Stephanie, please, I know you're moderating today, introduce yourself, and thank you so much for your partnership.
Thank you so much, Olga. You are amazing. This festival is just brilliant, and we are so grateful to be a part of it. Thank you for including us. Thank you also to Beth Cope and Nabi. Yeah, there's a lot of great things happening in this festival. So today we're going to talk about diving deep into positive critical process in moving a play forward. I have the privilege of having panelists with me, Marc G. Dalio, who is NJCU's Area Coordinator of Musical Theater Studies and Professor of Voice at NJCU. He's an amazing director and actor. And we have two playwrights from the 9th Floor Playwrights Collective, Benjamin V. Marshall. He is an award-winning playwright and professor of English at Middlesex County College. And Julie Weinberg, who is also an award-winning playwright, screenwriter, and singer. And we have some amazing actors today, Jonas Cohen, Susanna Hershkowitz, Marnie Klar, and RJ Valancourt. So thank you for being with us today. I would like to have Julie kind of explain the structure of our workshop today and what we're going to do. So handing it to you, Julie.
Hey, everybody. We know we have a very diverse and international group participating in this workshop today. The concept behind this deep dive into critical process comes from a few places. First, Ben and Marc and I have found that it's great to be speaking in the same vocabulary when we collectively talk about a piece of theater, no matter what the context. As a theater audience, especially for those of you who participate in audience talkbacks, where the audience gives feedback to a writer, it's especially good to be speaking the writer's language. Ben?
Yes, and if you have a writers group or are considering forming one, the feedback list that we'll share with you are the ones that we use in our own group, the same kind of feedback that we use in our own writers group. We hear the work of a writer and we try to give it an asset-based feedback to help the writer with his or her or their rewrites. If you're a writer giving feedback to a fellow writer, it's great to have a common vernacular, common language. And this interactive experience today isn't about fixing scripts. You'll hear more about learning how to communicate with the writer. Marc?
Thank you, Ben. Sometimes as well, things that are unclear or maybe seemingly incomplete in a piece of work are not at all the fault of the writing. Sometimes they require the interaction of a director with actors and the playwright to clarify and focus the story. So we will use your feedback today and work with our actors the way we would in a rehearsal to try to offer a different take on the same read and see how that works. We're going to share with you now some of the questions that we'd like you to think about while the reads are taking place so that you can be ready to talk about that when we're done.
So Anna, if you can share those. Yeah, so here are the questions that we'd like you to think about as you're listening to the play. What is popping for you in the work? Where are you most engaged and what is memorable? Number 2, what and who are you tracking? Whose journey are you in? Who are you following? What are the stakes and is there conflict? Next, are there places that you either dropped out or got lost? Next, what would you like to see more of? And then we're going to ask the writer if they have specific questions, but they're never supposed to have questions that are just yes or no answers. And in general, we're going to ask you to not write the play for the writer. Don't rewrite it. Don't prescribe or even suggest a change unless the writer asks you. No opinions, just what you see and observe. So Anna can take the questions away, and I'd like to have our actors get up on deck. Our actors, again, are Jonas Cohen, Susanna Hershkowitz, Marnie Klar, and RJ Valancourt. I'm going to turn myself off here, and Jonas, action.
Me and Tess at Moe's by Julie Weinberg. It is late afternoon at Moe's Diner in New York City's East Village. Moe's is decorated for Christmas with red and green lights sloppily dangling and a dancing Santa next to the cash register. Selma, 22, and Tess, 24, both wearing little Santa hats and aprons, confer closely next to the counter. A mysterious patron is the only visible customer in the diner. The cranky offstage voice of Moe is heard intermittently.
Oh, honey, that totally sucks.
He already bought his Christmas presents.
What an asshole.
He says I have too many feelings.
He wouldn't know a feeling if he fell over one. He's completely and utterly beneath you. You are brilliant and gorgeous and talented.
I'm not getting any auditions, much less callbacks.
It's a dry spell.
6 months isn't a dry spell. It's the Sahara.
Grit your teeth, baby. Never give up. You can't let a couple of teensy tiny setbacks stop you.
Can't hack this town alone anymore.
You have me.
I know, but it's too much. I'm gonna give Mo my notice. I've got to go back to Wisconsin.
Bullshit. I can't let you do that.
You're strong. I wish I was more like you.
A bell starts ringing in the kitchen. Hello, ladies! I see customers. I need orders. Do you mind?
I do! You'll see. There will be a sign. You have to stay. We'll talk.
Selma approaches a table downstage.
Hi. Want me to come back?
No, I think I'm ready.
Okay. What can I do for you?
Seriously? Where do I start?
Would you like to order some food?
Have men told you how pretty you look when you're angry?
Never. Men don't like me. I scare them.
You're funny. Men like funny. I like funny.
Anything on the menu you like?
What's good today?
Can't go wrong with a burger.
Hmm.
You need more time?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay. I promise I'll be ready.
Selma gives Tess a hi sign and they meet at the counter.
What's up?
You know him? Table 8?
Who, Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, right. Bradley Cooper's second cousin twice removed.
The way they Photoshop these movie stars, who knows what they really look like? I'm telling you, you never know. Maybe he's preparing for a role. They're shooting something over on Avenue B.
He seems depressed for a movie star.
You don't think movie stars get depressed? Go, cheer him up. And get his order before Mo implodes.
Mo pounds on the kitchen bell.
Too late. You know, I've been watching Mo carefully, and I say he's ADD with possible borderline tendencies. Dr. Snifson, my therapist, is giving me a lot of insight into people. Don't have a coronary, we're coming!
Wait, what do you think? Is Tommy right? Do I have too many feelings? Am I neurotic?
Tess! Selma! You're costing me money!
Jesus, what is this place, Rikers? You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you.
Tess runs towards Mo's voice. Selma goes back to Bradley.
So, you decided?
Yeah, I got it now. You don't look angry. You look sad.
Can I please have your order?
It's very attractive. Really.
Nice to know. Your order?
Okay. Give me something that takes a little longer to cook.
How about the fried chicken?
Sounds good. I need a lot more time on this date.
Date?
This might be our only one, so I want it to last.
Okay. One fried chicken in the basket coming up.
Slowly.
Slowly.
Selma starts to go.
Oh, wait, baked potatoes or fries? Salad or soup? Which vegetable?
Whatever you think. I'm in your hands.
Brad, you have to choose.
Oh, you know me?
Kitchen bell rings.
You better go, Selma.
Uh,
The guy keeps calling your name. Go. I can wait.
Mo, ordering one chicken in the basket all the way. Come here. Whatever you do, don't look at Bradley. Continue to look at me. I think it's possible he is him. His name is Brad.
No.
Yeah. He's flirting with me hot and heavy. What do you think?
No more thinking. Flink. That's what Snipson says.
Flink?
Feel and think. Too much feeling or too much thinking and you run into problems.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the balance.
That sounds good.
Selma, you can't go back to Wisconsin. Put the two of us together and you got one perfect person. You get a flinker.
I know. You're right.
You know what I flink? Brad Schmad, who cares? That guy is hot. Go, ask him out.
I'm not sure I like how he's talking to me.
Meaning what?
Do I come off angry? Do I seem sad?
Did Bradley say that?
Kind of.
The hell with that shit. I don't care if he's the president. Come on.
What? Tess, no.
Tess grabs Selma's hand and drags her over to Bradley's table.
Mr. Cooper, or whoever you are, this is my friend Selma, and she happens to be an incredible person as well as an amazing actress. And I really need you to respect her.
Who says I don't?
Selma, do you have something to say?
Listen, Bradley, you don't know me. Please don't tell me I'm angry or sad or whatever. I'm sick of men who can't handle women with feelings.
I like feelings. I have them. They're good.
If you want to get to know me, Fine. Let's go out for a drink. If you don't, also fine.
Are you asking me out? Is she asking me out?
I think perhaps she is.
I think I am.
What?
Never mind.
She'll explain it later.
Okay. Hey, you both actresses?
What waitress in New York isn't?
You ever do extra work?
Never.
If it pays, we'll do it.
What are you, her agent?
She's my best friend.
I am?
Yes, you are.
Come over to the set in the morning. We're on Avenue B. I'll try to get you girls on the movie.
Great. We will.
His cell phone beeps.
Hell, I gotta go. Here, for the food.
Oh, thanks.
Bradley gets up and exits, then comes back.
I hope it's okay, but I'm just Cooper's body double. I'm nobody.
Oh, no, are you kidding? That's great.
It is?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
Bradley runs back out the door.
So, I say, no point in quitting today. You're going to be on a movie tomorrow.
Do you call that a sign?
Yeah, I think so.
Ladies, anybody gonna tell me what I'm supposed to do with this chicken? Hello? End of play.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'd like to ask Anna to put our questions back up on the screen. And Sabrina is going to explain how you can ask a question and participate.
Feel free to type in the chat. If you aren't comfortable speaking, the chat button should be at the bottom of your Zoom call. It'll say chat and it's got a little like thought bubble-esque thing. Or if you would like to participate verbally, you can open up the participants window. It should be near your option for chat. And there's a blue hand button. Once you open up the participants window, if you click that, that'll raise your hand for us and we can call on you accordingly.
Fabulous. Thank you, Sabrina. All right, so the first question is, what is popping from you? Where were you most engaged? And what is memorable? Can you raise your hand or type in the chat?
We have a hand raised from Ben Rivera. Ben, I'm going to unmute you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Ben, we can hear you.
Hi, I really enjoyed that. The thing that popped the most for me was the relationship between Tess and Selma. I kind of got the sense that Tess is this kind of pillar that holds Selma up because she's seems to be more naturally meek, and Tess's headstrong attitude is what looks to inspire her to, put herself out there and talk to this person who potentially has connections to help her live her dream as an actress.
Fabulous.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you, Ben. Anyone else?
We have another hand up from Mackenzie. I'm going to unmute you now, Mackenzie.
So what popped to me the most was the relationship between Selma and Brad, because I felt like he was definitely trying to flirt with her, and I felt like he was definitely trying to flirt with her, and it was definitely very romantic, and yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Cool.
We have a comment in chat from Michelle. They say, I got butterflies and felt just as awkward when the woman and man were in dialogue. We're assuming Selma and Bradley.
Very nice.
Good.
Awesome. All right. So our next question is, what and who are you tracking? whose journey are you on and who are you following? Who were you following?
We have a hand up from Aliyah or Aliyah Kazi. I'm going to mute you now.
So I feel like who we're following this entire story is Selma. Like, she seems to be the main character because it's somewhat focused on her. And I feel like we're on her journey to become a good actress. Not a good actress, but a known one. That's what I meant.
That's fabulous. Thank you.
We have another hand up from Jamie. I'm going to mute you now, Jamie.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
So excuse me, I was actually quite compelled and found myself very intrigued by Bradley, and I'm very curious to see his journey and to hear his story. He just has this air of mystery around him that I don't want to say kind of gives me chills, but it's like there's more to him than I feel like we, as of right now, know. Like, I feel like we can learn more from him throughout this story.
That's fabulous. Thank you. I want to, we have some more comments in the chat from Melissa saying that Michelle had said she got butterflies. She said, same, Michelle. My favorite parts were when the shop owner kept on popping. And Thomas Doherty says, it seems like the majority of the scene is centered around Selma.
We also have another hand up from Mackenzie. I'm going to unmute you now.
I also feel like I was following Tess because I feel like it was just because of her personality in the play. She had a very like outgoing personality.
Cool. Fabulous. Thank you. We have a question from Sanea. And the question is, it's supposed to be Bradley Cooper, right? But I think it was, Julie, you can answer that.
Well, he's not Bradley Cooper, but he's his body double. So he should have a strong resemblance to him. And you know, when you see people, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but when you see stars in New York real fast, you go, wait, was that? Who is that? You know, and sometimes you think you're not even sure if it's them and it might be them.
Right.
So this is one of those things.
Awesome. Aisha said, I almost want to know if Selma and Brad's relationship worked out in the end. Fabulous. And Ben Rivera said, yes, there was that remark about Tess being Selma's agent, and I really hope that is what happens. That's fabulous.
That's funny.
All right. Any more on that question? And we have, I really like the overprotectiveness from Jamie. I really like the overprotectiveness of Tess over Selma. That is lovely. All right, so the next question is, what are the stakes and is there conflict?
And I guess another way to look at that is, what do you think the conflict, the major conflict is about?
So Michelle says conflict going for a possible love. That's awesome. Anyone else? We got a lot. Jordan says Selma's comfort zone can be at stake. And Ben Rivera said, I think the immediate conflict is that Selma is on the cusp of giving up on her dream as an actress. And Kaya says there seems to be a lot of internal conflict and feelings of self-doubt within Selma.
Let me just say that's great that somebody came up with internal conflict, because that's a whole nother level. And if you're seeing that, that's great, because all of us have internal conflict characters in plays have it, we have it as human beings, meaning what should I do? Is this the right way to go? I'm angry, but I'm also sad. I think I might really like him, but he's an asshole. If I'm allowed to say that on this. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think that's great.
Awesome. All right, we got a lot of comments. So it seems to me, stakes are her career. Yep. Thank you, Melissa. Logan, I feel like the conflict was trying to prevent Selma from moving back to Wisconsin and leaving her best friend's side. Cheyenne, conflict is Selma planning on giving up on her dreams. Jamie, the stakes are Selma putting her feelings out there and possibly being rejected again. And Brad putting himself out there so bluntly. The conflict is Selma having conflicted feelings internally about her attitude and reactions. And Sanea, the major conflict could be Selma's insecurities because she seems so unsure of herself and she really needs a lot of reassurance because she runs with whatever anyone tells her about herself. That's a great observation. Jess, the conflict is the risk of not getting anywhere and realizing that she will have to give up her dream. Awesome, thank you. All right, so next is, are there places you either dropped out or got lost? Michelle, I got lost with the part when Brad invites Selma to go to his set. So he wants to go out with her, but also take her to the movie set. So he is helping her because he is attracted to her, or was he just scouting?
We have a hand up from Mackenzie. Mackenzie, I'm going to unmute you now.
I'm sorry, I actually meant to lower my hand.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
All right, no problem.
Cheyenne said, no, there wasn't a conflict. That's awesome. Jamie said, I think it might have been a mix of both, Michelle. I think he sees the potential in her that she doesn't see in herself. Cheyenne commented that it's pretty easy to follow. And Sanaya said, honestly, when Brad spoke, he was very hesitant in moments where he spoke, but then he was very blunt. So I kept wondering if he was doing that because this was his character. And that I'm going to have Marc speak to about directing too, because that was some of the things that we were working on directing. All right. Anyone else on that question? I'm going to move on to what would you like to see more of? Mackenzie has raised her hand.
I would definitely like to see more of the relationship between the three characters, actually. Brad, Selma, and Tess. I just think, like everybody said, that Tess is very overprotective of Selma. And also about the conflict, I wanted to say that I don't see like I definitely see the internal conflict, but I don't see any apparent like other conflict in itself right now. I think that there could be a conflict though in the future with this play.
Awesome. Thank you. So, all right. Let's see. Daniela said, I would like to see more of Bradley. I feel like he's either hiding something or there's a lot we do not know about him. Sanaya said there's character development on Selma, Tess, and the relationship between Brad and Selma. I would love to see where it leads to, regarding Tess, I want to know if she something, and it got cut off. So Sanaya, you can post again. Oh, she might be a good agent. She thinks she will be a good agent. If she wants, regarding Tess, I want to know if she will be a good agent. Awesome. All right, Jamie said, I would like to see more of Tess and her thoughts and feelings in regard to trying to get work for her and Selma, and her own views and feelings on the potentially budding romance between Selma and Brad. Mia said, I'd like to see more of Brad's character. There seemed to be some contradictions in the way that he presented himself, which honestly feels like it's hinting at some depth to his character that we haven't seen yet. Simone said, I agree. I think that Bradley might be holding something back. And Michelle said part 2 at the movie set and part 3, the drink.
That's
Awesome.
great.
Jordan Sutherland, I would like to see more of the relationship development between Bradley and Selma, and also where the cook put the food after Bradley left. And Gabby said, I also agree. There's definitely more to Bradley than we didn't see, that we didn't see. Okay. Kayleen said, I wonder if Brad is actually lying about being a body double and is actually the real Bradley Cooper. And Jamie said, I agree with the thoughts on Brad. He really has this air of mystery about him. There's more to his story. Love it. And I think this is Justin. I'm interested to hear from Julie if this is a standalone scene or if there's more to this story. This is Anna. I like this as a singular event, but also really want to know more. So that leads into our last thing is, the question is, does the writer have some specific questions and not yes or no questions?
I know I'm not allowed to say you liked it, right? Seriously, I kind of have answers to some of the questions I was thinking about myself, about dimensionalizing Bradley. Sounds like the audience is curious about him. The answer to the question about whether this is standalone is yes, this is a 10-minute play. At least that's the original concept of it. Now I'm thinking maybe it needs a part 2 and a part 3.
Awesome. We've got a lot of people saying we want more,
which is great. That's always great.
That's awesome.
I was also thinking, and I remember thinking about this when I wrote it, which was a while back, how people would feel about meeting Mo. Is anybody interested in meeting Mo? And if so, why? Tell me your feelings about Mo. Or do you want even more of him in the background or less of him? Do you need him? I'm just curious how you feel about Mo.
Fabulous.
We have a hand up from Ben Rivera.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him as this like offstage presence. Like you're in Mo's diner and Mo's lurking there somewhere. But I thought it was great that you never actually saw him.
Cool.
Got another hand up from Mackenzie. I'm gonna unmute you now, Mackenzie.
I definitely feel like I would like to see more of him just because his personality seems kind of like funny. He's like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this chicken now? Like, I just feel like it was kind of funny.
Good.
All right, and then Sanaya says, will they get away from the restaurant and will Mo follow? I wonder how does he play along if Selma is trying to follow her dreams? Jamie said, I think brief scenes of Mo. I'd love some snark from him, his side comments on what Selma and Tess are discussing.
That's funny.
Shaheen says, yes, I don't know why, but he might be a good comic relief character. Justin said, Mo is amazing. I would love to have heard the bell being pounded on. Sam says, I feel like Mo is the character that is a metaphor for the little devil on Selma's shoulder making her doubt herself.
Wow.
Logan, I would like to meet Mo. I've worked as a waiter and his shouting gave me a lot of flashbacks. It made the play feel really relatable to me.
It's hysterical.
Michelle, Mo is great. If you have ever worked in the restaurant industry, especially a diner, which I have, this is true. There is a Mo in every diner. Jonathan Jarvis, I would like to see Mo. Background characters with charm are always the fan favorites. And Isai says, keep Mo off stage like the neighbor from Home Improvement or the mom from Big Bang Theory. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone. All right, so now let's bring Marc Dalio to talk about the directing perspective.
Well, it's interesting to hear all of your comments. I find them fascinating. I'm sure that Julie does too. That we can all watch the same brief scene and take so many different things from it. So we're going to do a little exercise with our actors now to maybe steer the scene in a slightly more focused way. Obviously, when you're watching a movie, you can follow whoever's story resonates with you, or when you're reading a scene or watching a play or a musical, you can follow whatever you're drawn to. But sometimes the writer or the director or the team want to put together a specific story that we want you to follow. So we're going to try to craft the scene in a way now where the story feels maybe like it's more Selma's story, and everyone is sort of supporting that story. So we're going to ask our actors to do a couple things that are a little bit, maybe a little bit different. So first of all, let's talk to Brad. And if you can come back on screen, that would be awesome, Brad.
Hello.
So, hi. So we know from the playwright that it's not Bradley Cooper, it's Bradley Cooper's body double.
Right.
So we're going to assume that let's try this, that you've never gone out and tried to pretend that you were Bradley before. So this is the first time you're going out to pretend to be Bradley. And the one thing you know you can do is smile like Bradley Cooper. So your fallback all the time is going to be just sort of sitting there and smiling and hoping maybe people will just look at me and think that I'm him, and therefore I won't have to do much more. And the speaking that you do probably needs to be monitored so that you don't give away too much of who you really are. And occasionally you slip. Like at one point she says something about you being Brad, and you said, oh, you recognize me, or you know me. That's probably a moment for like the real you to pop out and then probably get shoved away again because you're trying to put on this show. That quirk may very well endear you to the audience, the fact that they know you're putting on an act, and then as you start to like kind of fumble through it and then come back and be honest later, that might be a reason for us to get on your side. So smile. That is the one thing you know you do well as Bradley. And remember that the more speaking you do, the more they might see that you're not really him. But I think underneath that, you probably don't want to lie about all this, which is why you come back at the end and tell her who you really are, because you're kind of a sweet guy underneath that stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. And Tess, can you come back up?
Yes.
Super. So let's try this. I think that your relationship with Selma is so important, as so many of the people watching indicated today as well. I would like to see, I think that Tess and Mo can, as some people mentioned, bring us some good comic relief, sort of some character. I'd love to see her be a little bit more New York. So I'd like a bigger difference between when she is aggressively attacking something like a comment from Mo and when she's saying something sweet to her friend. Sure. So much so that you can like say a line, explode about something, and then come back to sweet you. Because you're kind of trying to hide that, because New Yorkers don't let that part out too much. We kind of hide that. We have our shell that we walk around the street with, and then we have the part of us that we reveal to those who are close to us when they need our help. You know? So if you can make a bigger difference between those two things, I'd also love for you to consider in the back of your mind, this is stupid. Actors do these sort of things though. For those of you who are watching, we sometimes have hidden stories or secrets that we keep as an actor that no one in the audience needs to know, but it's something that we have. I would love it if in the back of your mind, you and Mo were in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Great. So we don't know that at all, obviously, but you have that in the back of your mind. Okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Super. And Selma.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. So here's my big question to you, and this is something that came up in our feedback questions as well. What is Selma? What does she want? So many people have suggested actor success or relationship success, or what do you think from this brief little bit of dialogue that she's going for? What does she want?
It's interesting. Right at the top of this scene, we hear that it seems like she's also going through a breakup, right? Like it's the combination of like she's now alone on a large, like this guy has just broken up with her because she's too many feelings and she's not hacking it. And I guess there's something about, I'm just curious how those both are playing into whatever she's looking for. But yeah.
So is it less about specifically a relationship and specifically about the job and more about I just need to succeed at something?
I think so.
I need to like be happy with something that's going on in my life, because these things fall apart left and right. I lost a relationship, and I also haven't had an audition in all this time, and so you're probably a little shut off to the whole idea of Bradley walking into your life at all.
And it's also I think because of that, she doesn't see what she does have in front of her, which is this like incredible friend support system, which she sees clear by the end. But it's this like that feeling, I think, especially when you're in New York, where like one thing falls away and you feel so alone. And it's like, she's actually less alone than she thinks. And that is revealed, I think.
Well, given that we have this beautiful sort of 10-minute play, it would be wonderful to see if that goal of happiness could reveal itself to her in a few of those moments along the way. Those aren't the moments necessarily that the audience is expecting it, but that's okay. That's part of the beauty of this, is that we can take it from she's connected with this friend and found the confidence to have the conversation with this guy and sort of like done a 180 in just these few minutes of work. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Awesome. I'd love to take it again, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I assume you don't need me to read the stage directions at the beginning of this to start us off, or how would you like to?
You can rock right into we can start with the very beginning of the show. You don't have to read the stage directions at the beginning. Thanks so much.
Oh, honey, that totally sucks.
I already bought his Christmas presents.
What an asshole.
He says I have too many feelings.
He wouldn't know a feeling if he fell over one. He's completely and utterly beneath you. You are brilliant and gorgeous and talented. And
I'm not getting any auditions, much less callbacks.
It's a dry spell.
6 months isn't a dry spell. It's the Sahara.
Grit your teeth, baby. Never give up. You can't let a couple of teeny, tiny setbacks stop you.
I can't hack this town alone anymore.
You have me.
I know, but it's too much. I'm going to give Mo my notice. I've got to go back to Wisconsin.
Bullshit! I can't let you do that.
You're strong. I wish I was more like you.
Hello? Ladies, I seek customers. I need orders. Do you mind?
I do! You'll see. There will be a sign. You have to stay. We'll talk.
Hi. You want me to come back?
No, I think I'm ready.
Okay. What can I do for you?
Seriously? Where do I start?
Would you like to order some food?
Have men told you how pretty you look when you're angry?
Never. Men don't like me. I scare them.
You're funny. Men like funny. I like funny.
Anything on the menu you like?
What's good today?
Can't go wrong with a burger. You need more time?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I'll be back.
Okay. I promise I'll be ready.
She gives Tess the high sign and they meet at the counter.
What's up?
You know him? Table 8?
Who? Bradley Cooper?
Right. Bradley Cooper's second cousin twice removed.
way they Photoshop these movie stars, who knows what they really look like? I'm telling you, you never know. Maybe he's preparing for a role. They're shooting something over on Avenue B.
He seems depressed for a movie star.
What? You don't think movie stars get depressed? Go, cheer him up and get his order before Mo implodes.
Come on!
Oops, too late. You know, I've been watching Mo carefully, and I say he's ADD with possible borderline tendencies. Dr. Snipson, my therapist, is giving me a lot of insight into people. Don't have a coronary! We're coming!
Wait, what do you think? Is Tommy right? Do I have like too many feelings? Am I neurotic?
Tess! Selma! You're costing me money!
Jesus, what is this place, Rikers? You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you.
So you decided?
Yeah, I got it now. You don't look angry. You look sad.
Can I please have your order?
It's very attractive. Really.
Nice to know. Your order?
Okay, give me something that takes a little longer to cook.
How about the fried chicken?
Sounds good. I need a lot more time on this date.
Date?
This might be our only one, so I want it to last.
Okay. One fried chicken and the basket coming up.
Slowly.
Slowly. Wait, baked potatoes or fries? Salad or soup? Which vegetable?
Whatever you think. I'm in your hands.
Brad, you have to choose.
Oh, you know me?
Kitchen bell rings.
You better go, Selma. That guy keeps yelling your name. Go. I can wait.
Mo, ordering one chicken in the basket all the way. Come here. Whatever you do, don't look at Bradley. Continue to look at me. I think it's possible he is him. His name is Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of flirting with me, like hot and heavy. What do you think?
No more thinking. Blink. That's what Snipson says.
Blink?
Feel and think. Too much feeling or too much thinking and you run into problems.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a balance.
That sounds good.
Selma, you can't go back to Wisconsin. Put the two of us together and you got one perfect person. Get a flanker.
I know. You're right.
You know what I flank? Brad Schmad, who cares? That guy is hot. Go get him.
I'm not sure I like how he's talking to me.
Meaning what?
Do I come off angry? Do I like seem sad?
Did Bradley tell you that?
Kind of.
The hell with that shit. I don't care if he's the president. Come on.
What? Tess, no.
Mr. Cooper, or wherever you are, this is my friend Selma, and she happens to be an incredible person as well as an amazing actress, and I really need you to respect her.
Who says I don't?
Selma, you have something to say?
Yeah. Listen, Bradley. You don't know me. Please don't tell me I'm angry or sad or whatever. I'm sick of men telling me that they can't handle women with feelings.
I like feelings. I have them. They're good.
Well, if you want to get to know me, fine. Let's go out for a drink. Or, if you don't, that's fine too.
Are you asking me out? Is she asking me out?
I think perhaps she is.
I think I am.
What?
Never mind.
Okay. Hey, you both actresses?
What waitress in New York isn't?
You ever do extra work?
Never.
If it pays, we'll do it.
What are you, her agent?
She's my best friend.
I am?
Yes, you are.
Come over to the set in the morning. We're on Avenue B. I'll try to get you girls on the movie.
Great. We will.
His cell phone beeps.
Hell, I gotta go. Here, for the food.
Thanks.
I hope it's okay, but I'm just Cooper's body double. I'm nobody.
Oh, no, are you kidding? That's great.
It is?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
He exits.
So, I say, no point in quitting today. You're going to be on a movie tomorrow.
You call that a sign?
Yeah, I think so.
Ladies! Anybody gonna tell me what I'm supposed to do with this chicken? Hello? End of play.
That was fabulous. Thank you so much. Mark, do you have any comments? And then anyone else have comments about what the transformation has been?
I'm happy to welcome other comments, but I just want to thank our actors for being so willing to make these changes on the fly like that. That's hard to do, and they did a great job with that. So thank you guys.
Fabulous. So I'm seeing Mo. Okay, Mo actually sounds like he's from New York. Awesome. I was a bit surprised at the assumption that Brad's son had cut off. So, anyone else have any takeaways?
We have a hand up from Mackenzie. I'm going to unmute you now, Mackenzie.
Great.
I definitely like the emotion change with Tess, where she was like more like outgoing when she needed to be, but then when she was talking to Selma, she was more like caring and not as, blunt and outgoing.
Fabulous. Logan said Brad's character feels more natural. That's awesome. Aisha said, I feel like there's more emotion in this second take. Kayleen, I love the transition at the end from Brad trying to be the cool Bradley Cooper to this quirky guy that he really is. Awesome. Jamie definitely felt a bit more lively the second time. I could almost actually feel Selma's feelings and Brad's hesitations.
Ooh.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. So we're going to do this process one more time. We have the privilege of hearing some monologues from Ben Marshall's play Incident at Willow Creek. We have two, this is a longer full-length play. We are going to hear two monologues from juxtaposing characters, the cashier and Maxwell. So I'm going to have Ben give you an overview of the play and ask Jonas and RJ to be on deck.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, Incident at Willow Creek is a play about the current situation of African-American men who have been wrongly accused of criminal actions, especially with guns, and guns play a prominent feature in the entire play. The first monologue is spoken by the cashier, a cashier who works in a store where one of these incidents is currently happening. And the second monologue is spoken by Maxwell, who is a college student who is obsessed with guns.
Awesome. All right. And so we're going to think about the same questions again. What is popping for you? Where are you most engaged? And what is memorable? What and who are you tracking? Whose journey are you on? Who are you following? Number 3, what are the stakes and is there conflict? Number 4, are there places that you either dropped out or got lost? Number 5, what would you like to see more of? And then we'll solicit questions from Ben to see if he has some other questions. So the questions are also in the chat if you'd like to see them. And going to ask the actors to be on deck and roll.
It wasn't what I expected. It's never what you expect, I guess. I'm at my station, hating these fluorescent lights. I stayed up late last night with Darcy trying to get some chicken soup down her throat, and these fluorescent lights make me look like Dracula's mother. I don't think of Dracula having a mother. Do you? He must have. Funny thing. You always think that some people have mothers and others don't. Silly thoughts and idle time, I guess. I'm wondering about other creatures' mothers when the police rush in. The police rush in. And I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to die. I'm almost through the last chapter of the Bible and the last season of Game of Thrones, and I finally finished the last corner of the quilt I'm making for... I can't finish. I heard the gunshot, the first one, and I wasn't sure if it was what it was. And then all of them came, one after another, crack, 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 crack. And I thought, this is the last time I'm ever going to put myself through this. That absolute fear, that absolute deep well of fear. Did you ever live through gunfire? Have you? I'm out here, exposed, counting change, bagging hand tools and baby clothes, wearing this little apron that says, I'm here for you. I am here for you. I can handle the rude people, the coughing in your face with the mouths wide open, the snotty brats who get shoved and smacked, and the plain just ugly people you see. I can be pleasant when it is so hard to be pleasant. I want that apron to be bulletproof. I mean, if they're going to make me work near the front door, I want protection. I want protection.
It happened a long time ago. I barely remember it. It was an accident. He was cleaning his gun. The trigger was faulty, didn't catch properly. My sister was in the hallway and the gun went off. My father didn't know a bullet struck her. He just thought she was still playing. She looked like me. My sister did. You can see it in all the pictures my mom still has on the walls. She looks at them almost every day. She sometimes has lunch near the one wall in the kitchen where there's a picture of my sister. We have to wipe off the grease from the glass because it's so close to the stove. My dad still tells me about gauges and calibers and which are the best places online to buy bullets. But he hasn't picked up a gun since it happened.
Thank you so much. So Anna, can you put up the questions? So the first question, what is popping for you? where are you most engaged and what is memorable? You want to put the hand raised or type in the chat?
We have a message. Never mind, it wasn't a comment about that.
We have a thumbs up. A question, are the speakers supposed to be in black?
No,
Ben,
these are from two characters who are white. The student, however, does have a black professor.
Eric said probably the fact that his dad was cleaning a loaded gun. That was
We have a hand up from Sanaya. I am going to unmute you now.
Hi.
Hi, Sanaya.
So I just wanted to, I was really engaged with the cashier. I feel like his flashback, I feel like it's a flashback. I feel like the way he was saying, like, basically, like, his whole apron is like, he's a hypocrite for wearing it because he doesn't protect, you know, and he wants to, but he doesn't. And he tries to, like, justify who he is by saying, like, you know, I do smile in the faces of people who aren't so nice, you know. So I really liked his character. I feel like he was just very emotional in his facial expressions, and I think it did well for his portrayal.
Fabulous, thank you. We have some comments in the chat. Michelle said it is accessible and understandable for all. It is also very relatable. Even though I have never experienced events like this, I feel like I have lived these events through the two characters. Nice. Justin said, I really enjoyed the intensity in the cashier's face. Really helped him push the story in the right direction. Awesome. Joshua said, what pops out to me is how his father still talks about guns and where to buy bullets, as I think it would be a difficult subject to mention at all. And Jamie said, both monologues were equally grabbing my attention. I felt with the cashiers, it was almost like a cold comedic type. With Maxwell, it was more raw. What stood out was the sudden fascination with Dracula having a mom. Very nice. All right, so the next question is, what and who are you tracking? Whose journey are you on and who are you following?
Those are kind of an easy question, aren't they, since they're both monologues?
No, that's true. Okay. All right, so we also got a note from Mia, who said the multiple layers of grief that we saw with the cashier stuck out to me a lot. He sort of rambled a bit about things that didn't matter much, but really they did. And his emotions weren't in one single place, which seems more realistic. Zane said, what really pops is the fact that the gun is almost a character because it's so prominent in the monologues. Amazing. Amanda said the cashier seemed like he was trying to avoid thinking about the incident by getting lost in other thoughts, which could be a way of coping. And Jamie said, I find myself following more with Maxwell's story and would love to hear more.
Yeah, there's a lot more with Maxwell.
Awesome. And Michelle said, I agree, I'm tracking the guns. Cool. All right, so the next question is, what are the stakes and is there conflict? And Ben, you can give a little background because this maybe some background of the story that from the monologues people would want.
Right. The cashier's monologue is pretty much a standalone monologue early in the play. The play focuses on this one situation, this one incident where a Black man is buying a BB gun for a birthday present, and he is somebody, a passerby, wrongly accuses him of brandishing a gun, where he's taken out of the, it's a store in a mall, and he's taken out of the store in the mall, and he's killed by the police. The actual incident is not really seen. It's only talked about. And the person that it affects most is a teacher. And her student is Maxwell. The teacher's Black, and Maxwell is white. And in the course of the play, we learn more and more about the teacher's fear of and relationship to Maxwell. Maxwell does have a fascination with guns, and as you can see, there's a certain fascination because of his family history. And he's a member of the National Guard, the Army Reserves, and he has friends who are also involved with guns.
Hence some of the other, hence his other monologues explaining other people's, yeah, very nice. Okay, so Michelle said living on something to live for, violence and staying safe. Those are the stakes that she sees in there. Awesome. So our next question is, are there places you either dropped out or got lost? Nothing there. What would you like to see more of? I would like to see more of the cashier's background before, which maybe is already in the play. But that would be something that I would love to hear that. Thomas said, I think both were a good length. They were short, so it's hard to lose focus so quick. And Michelle asked, is this a standalone scene or if there's more to the story? So
it's a full-length play, so there's more to the story. The play runs about 90 minutes. The cashier does appear a couple of times more. The last time she's trying not to, she's being interviewed and she doesn't want to be interviewed anymore. He doesn't want to be interviewed. I said she because I was reading some of the questions before and somebody said something about gender. And we did something for this presentation. The cashier was originally written for a woman. In this play, there's one central character and one central actor, I should say. There's only 4 actors, and the remaining 3 actors play multiple parts. And so the cashier plays a nurse and the best friend of the main character. So for reasons we won't go into, I said, let's try the cashier as with an actor, a male actor playing it. And I thought, let's try it this way because I think it'd be very interesting. Maxwell, of course, is played by a young man.
I think that the gender change gives it a lot of depth. So it was amazing. Jamie said, I would like to see or hear more about Maxwell's family and how it impacted the family as a whole. And I know that there was a bit of that already. And Kayleen, I would like to see more of the story of the family whose sister got shot. So that would be Maxwell. Did the fact that a family member died change the family's views on guns, perhaps the father is trying to get back into his hobby with guns, but can't because of the incident. Yeah, a comment, the gender change worked well. And maybe it's Maxwell's mom that I want to hear from. And Michelle said, let me know when the play runs. I'm interested in hearing more. Awesome.
Your mouth to God's ear.
So Ben, if you have any other questions that you'd like to put out there, and then I'd like to have Marc work with the actors from a directing point of view.
Actually, I don't have any questions right now.
We
guess
can't
the
hear
idea.
you. Sound
I
dropped
said,
out.
oh, sorry, I don't have any questions right now. But I would like to hear Marc's feedback about what he could do with the actors.
I'm happy to chat about it.
Yeah, we can take the screen. We can take the screen away. The questions away, Anna, and then we'll be ready for Marc to work with the actors. Perfect.
Our actors are doing such a great job, and they've been so willing to work with us that I'm happy to go down that path. Although the audience has already taken so much from them, so that's a testament to this writing and also Julie's writing as well. That everyone's getting so much. So can Maxwell and our cashier come back on the screen, please?
Yep.
Awesome. So just as an exploration, I'm thinking in the worlds of the cashier that there are clearly, I don't know how often you've had to relay this story as the cashier. I don't know if the cashier has said it much or not. That might be a decision worth making. And also that the reality of that story is a massive emotional trigger for this person, it seems. And so everything is being covered by other sort of like jokey, sarcastic, other types of lines, right? I think it might be interesting to see that dichotomy. It would be interesting to see the difference between the lines that deeply hurt or remind or impact or are trying to be avoided, and the ones that are being used to, like, divert my attention at this moment to something that is I don't know, more easily played off, something that's covering this pain. Seeing those two things placed side by side in a larger way might be an interesting thing to try. And Maxwell, and I invite Ben to answer some of this too. I've been thinking about Maxwell's audience for this monologue, and how that would change the way that you might be delivering it. Is this, for example, is it a therapy session? Is it you opening up to a new romantic partner? Is it you at an AA meeting because you have all sorts of troubles that you've come into because of your past? Ben, is there any sense of history and where we might find this character at this moment?
It's interesting. He is actually talking to his teacher. And at first he had a very contentious relationship with the teacher. But she has opened up some things for him. And this is one of the first times that he's actually spoken about this to someone other than his family.
Excellent. So I'm sure that, RJ, I'm sure that knowing that you haven't been able to say these words to anyone yet, and being able to open up or trying to open up for the first time to someone brings about a different set of feelings for you as you go into it. So
Totally.
I'm sorry?
Totally, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So while we run these again, you have a few minutes to think about that while our cashier is going. But if you guys could try that, we'll see what it does.
Could I just say about the cashier?
Please.
This is within hours of the incident. This is within hours. Say like some TV person or radio person grabbed you and is interviewing you, and like, what do you remember? And it's like, this is within the few hours of the actual incident.
Wonderful, because we can take that and remember the things that bring us back into shock and things that avoid us having to deal with what just happened, which I'm sure will give Jonas some ammunition there too. Thank you for that, Ben. Let's try it again, guys.
Okay. It wasn't what I expected. It's never what you expect, I guess. I'm at my station hating these fluorescent lights. I stayed up late last night with Darcy trying to get some chicken soup down her throat, and these fluorescent lights make me look like Dracula's mother. Yeah. I never think of Dracula having a mother. Do you? And you must have. What do you think? You always think that some people have mothers and others don't. Silly thoughts at idle times, I guess. I'm wondering about other creatures' mothers when the police rush in. The police rush in. And I'm not ready to die. I am not ready to die. I'm almost to the last chapter of the Bible and the final season of Game of Thrones and the last corner of the quilt I'm making for I heard the gunshot, the first one. I wasn't sure if it was what it was. Then all of them came one after another, crack, 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 crack. And I thought, this is the last time I'm ever going to put myself through this. That absolute fear, that absolute deep well of fear. You ever lived through gunfire, have you? I'm out here, exposed, counting change, bagging hand tools and baby clothes, wearing this little apron that says, I'm here for you. I am here for you. I can handle the rude people, the coughing in your face, with mouths wide open, the snotty brats who get shoved and smacked, and the just plain ugly people that you see. I can be pleasant when it is so hard to be pleasant. I want that apron to be bulletproof. If they're going to make me work near the front door, I want protection. I want protection.
It happened a long time ago. I barely remember it. It was an accident. He was cleaning his gun. The trigger was faulty. It didn't catch properly. My sister was in the hallway and the gun went off. My father didn't know a bullet struck her. He just thought she was still playing. She looked like me. My sister did. You can see it in all the pictures my mom still has on the walls. She looks at them almost every day. She sometimes has lunch near the one wall in the kitchen where there's a picture of my sister. We have to wipe off the grease from the glass because it's so close to the stove. My dad still tells me about gauges and calibers and which are the best places online to buy bullets. But he hasn't picked up a gun since it happened.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing work, guys.
Yeah. Any takeaways that anyone has?
Well, there's a couple of questions in the chat that do you see? Or comments in the chat.
Yes. So Jamie had said from before, is the continuing talk of guns more of a comfort thing since it feels like familiarity? Jess, the cashiers felt much more real. It felt like he was trying to push out his memories, which made him panic even more. And Sanaya, that humorless laugh works so well, and the mention of a Darcy as if the interviewer would know who that person is to the cashier. I love the procrastination. It really just keys into the emotion and the way that he can reflect on the trauma. So well done. As for Maxwell, I like that he tells it so slowly as if he can barely get it out, but he manages. Anna said both renditions were amazing, which they were. And Thomas said the cashier was so elevated after being better informed this round. It made it really fascinating to watch.
Could I just say that with the cashier is pretty much a self-contained character. So I had to get as much detail and as much emotion into the character, into this moment as possible. Whereas Jamie's character, Maxwell's character is is throughout the entire play. So I can drop bits and pieces of this horrible story and his fascination with guns along, throughout the play.
Sure.
Absolutely.
All I can say is direction and working with actors. Love it.
Yeah.
Long for it.
That was amazing, Mark. Thank you. Yeah.
You guys did a great job.
Jamie says, loved it. I can see the struggle of the cashier was having. You can really see him fighting to maintain his composure. With Maxwell, you can hear it more in his voice, how he seems to be fighting off his voice cracking. And as he was speaking, you can see and hear in both how they seem like they want to cry, but they're fighting it. It's amazing. So I'm going to go around. This has been an amazing session, and I've learned a lot. I hope everyone has. I'm going to start with Marc. Just some closing comments about the structure, the practice moving forward.
I think that one of the big wins today was, in addition to really solid writing, you surrounded yourself with some really wonderful actors who are willing to, on a day's notice, sort of make all of this happen and make changes for us. I think that says a lot. And to echo what Julie was saying, giving actors somewhere to roll within a script is absolutely something that can help bring things to life. I often wonder, and I would pose this question to Ben and Julie, if you write from the perspective of, are you having the conversation yourself? Do you hear actors speaking in your mind? How does that come out in your head?
While I'm writing, I'm playing all the roles usually. People passing my door in the hall would probably hear me talking to myself. But luckily, Ben and I are part of a writers collective that uses most of the actors that you're seeing here today, and maybe Susanna will join us at some point too. So we get to hear the work as we are developing it. And then like you hear things, you go, oh, that passage is flat. Or, and sometimes it's because it needs direction and we don't have that opportunity and in the moment. And sometimes we give each other that feedback too, like, no, this is working. It just would need a director's hand to focus it. And other times we realize it's the text and we go back and rewrite it. But hearing it in other people's mouths, fantastic. It helps not to just talk to oneself all the time.
Agreed.
I just want to echo what Julie said. Fortunately, I live in a house, so I can talk to myself all day long. Nobody hears me. That's why I'm crazy. But it is great to have the actors read the words so that you can hear, oh, yes, this is working. No, it's not working. It's the text. It's not working. Yeah. I also am going to shout out to my class. That's, many of them are here. And I think that some of them have to go because they have a class at 12:30. So I just want to say thank you for them for showing up and for being such great participants, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's why I think Marc's students are here too. So
yes, they are.
amazing.
I'm
Thank
glad
you
to see
so
them.
much. You've been So
I
insightful.
want to say this was an incredibly, probably by dint of being, some of them being your students, sophisticated, astute, very, very keyed in group. So that's always great. That was very, very great.
Awesome. If our actors want to make some closing comments, and then I know we're on a time so that people don't miss their next class if they're going, but would love to hear from you, your experience or thoughts. Tess? Marnie? Tess?
This was just a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Julie and Ben and Mark and my fellow actors, and great time. Thanks.
Awesome. Jonas?
I don't know if we've said it, but the participation from the audience, I think, for actor and director and writer is also invaluable. And it's just a reminder of this process that right now, because of our pandemic, we don't have access to. So this was a nice way to have that audience interaction that is so vital and so important generally, and so such a vital step in the process of creation for the theater. So thank you.
Fabulous.
Piggyback off that, it's like reading these comments right now is actually, it's really moving, and it's like, it's actually, it's really helpful, because I think, I know I can just speak for me, this time has been much less busy as an actor than it used to be, and it can feel sometimes like, it's really so nice to work and have you guys here and like so interested in asking such good comments and so just insightful, and it reminds me actually that this really is valued and important, and just makes me feel really great. So thank you so much.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Really supportive environment from everybody who attended and everybody who set it up. It's been nice to play and get acquainted with 2 new plays in the course of 2 days, and these opportunities are few and far between. And any time we can do it, it's really a treat. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Everything they said, I say.
That's awesome. All right, Mackenzie has raised her hand, so we'll unmute you, and then I have some closing thoughts.
I just want to say thank you to all the directors and actors for giving me such a great foundation of learning about theater.
Cool. Thank you. That's awesome. So we have enjoyed you being here with us so much. Thank you for all of our leaders on screen and participating. I want to thank so much JCTC, Olga, for including us in this amazing festival. Please go to jctcenter.org. We have a whole list of fabulous performances from all over the world, theater companies from all over the world, up through Sunday. So get a ticket and come to that. And our NJCU Center for the Arts, if you go to njcu.edu/arts, you'll see our upcoming programs. I would like to thank Anna Carhart, our theater manager, Justin Tinker, our technical director, and Sabrina Saballo, our box office manager and Zoom coordinator, for all of your help today and amazingness. And I'm inspired, so I hope that we do more. We're going to have some more theater festivals through the fall and spring, so, and partnering with JCTC, so be inspired, and I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.